Gaylen Nebeker with Nebtek here, and we're in the Qtake booth with Lars from Qtake, and he's going to help us show you Qtake server. It's Qtake monitor plus the ability to do playbacks. Lars, tell us a little bit about how this works.
So, if you're familiar with Qtake monitor, you know that Qtake is basically streaming its views content onto your iPad. So, anyone with an iPad can reference what is happening in front of the camera right at this second. Many of you may also be familiar with Qtake, that its ability to record H.264 material. If you do have a Qtake server and the Qtake running at the same time, you will have the option to set each view to either live or play by going into the open menu. And by setting them to play, you can then browse clips from Qtake server, load them up into your view and play them back.
So here we have multiple clips playing back in one view on the iPad. So we're able to look at several cameras at one time in playback mode. And that's initiated by the script supervisor or director or whoever has the iPad.
To control playback, we've designated on-screen zones. So you have a play button down in the middle here. You have advanced frames, reverse frames, and go to out mark, go to in mark. You can also disable temporarily in and out marks, which allows you to go back, let's say, to the beginning of the clip and play back from there.
You also have that implemented in Qtake now.
Yeah, and Qtake also has this feature. It's called the use range, where basically I can turn it off, and it allows my playhead to it allows me to play back material outside of my in and out points. With Qtake server, what we're basically doing is taking the collaborational aspects of an on-set workflow one step further. Now it's not only the operator that can enter various notes and metadata about the take. Anyone with permissions can do it, and the richer the metadata, the more valuable it becomes. When you make a note in Qtake server, or if you change any of the metadata, this gets synchronized back to Qtake server, and from Qtake server then it gets synchronized back to Qtake. And this also gets propagated to all other clients that are looking at this. So if I'm changing the rating on my iPad, then the operator sees it, whoever has permission to see that part of the metadata gets to see it. The permissions in Qtake server are set up as soon as someone tries to connect. The username will pop up in the list here, and you as an operator or whoever is controlling the server can just approve them. And the basic guest approval just gives permission for playback. You can also define roles, and these roles are basically a set of permissions. So the script supervisor, for instance, you want to allow her to take screenshots and have offline access to the material. You can easily set up a role called script supervisor and add those permissions there. Just to make it easier, you can even choose custom colors for the different metadata groups so that they're easily identified on the iPad. A watermark is available. You can adjust the size and the opacity of the watermark, and of course a custom text. The watermark will contain the user's email address and the watermark text for security reasons.
So the other thing that I want you to understand about Qtake server is that there's various configurations of Qtake server. Qtake server can be running on a local machine. Qtake server can also be running in a cloud. So what happens if you have a cloud-based server?
Well, basically Qtake will then upload to that cloud-based server, and anyone, wherever in the world they are, can access that material. You can also have multiple Qtake servers, so you have one on set and one in the cloud, and those two servers can in turn synchronize with each other. Whenever you have internet access on the set, it will automatically sync up the databases and materials.
So that's great for collaboration. If, say, your visual effects producer is in New York and you're shooting in Los Angeles, it's no problem. They can, just moments after you finish recording, they can load it up and take a look at it. Now, there's even one more feature that I really love about this, and that is on big movies, when you have a first unit and a second unit. Let's say your second unit is doing a stunt, and they do the stunt, and they finish rolling, and within minutes, this information can be loaded up to the server, and your first unit video assistant operator can play it back. Is that right?
Yeah, basically. We've actually added that to Qtake now, that you can list files that are from the server. So the Qtake operator can even go in and see all files that the server knows about, which might not be recorded locally, like the second unit files you were talking about, and bring those up and play it back through Qtake or through Qtake Monitor.
Wow. So instantaneously, after doing a stunt on second unit in a different location, maybe even in a different city, the first unit director can take a look at that. The visual effects people can start planning on how they're going to edit that scene. This really is a powerful addition to Qtake. Qtake server is awesome. I can't wait to use it. And the great news about it is going to be free until the end of 2014. So anybody that wants to beta test this, get it out on a show, now's the time.